Welcome everyone to another enlightening session on our journey through the world of literature. Today we are delving into the world of Greek comedy, and I have with me four iconic figures from ancient Athens: Aristophanes, Cratinus, Eupolis, and Menander. Thank you for joining us. The plethora is ours. Always a good time to share some laughs and thoughts on comedy. Indeed. And perhaps we will mix in a bit of wine to keep things lively. Cratinus always the jovial one, but yes, we are excited to discuss our craft. And perhaps show the world how comedy has evolved over time. Let's start with Aristophanes. You are often called the father of comedy. How did you manage to blend satire with humor to critique Athenian society so boldly? Ah, Satire and humor are powerful tools. Through plays like Lysistrata and The Clouds, I sought to expose the absurdities of society and politics. Comedy can be both entertaining and enlightening, allowing audience to reflect on their own behaviors while laughing at exaggerated versions of them. So their disarms and humor engages together. They can bring about change. Fascinating, Cratinus. You were known for your biting wit and criticism, particularly of public figures like Pericles. How did you approach comedy different from Aristophanes? I always believed in the power of a sharp tongue. My works, like the wine flask Pandine, were filled with a relentless energy and barbed satire. While Aristophanes might use humor to critique society, I went straight for the throat, targeting politicians and social norms head on. If comedy is a weapon, it should strike hard and leave a mark. Next, your fearless approach certainly left an impact, Eupolis. You were part of the old comedy tradition alongside Aristophanes and Cratinus. So, what set your work apart from theirs? I think what made my work unique was my focus on the absurdity of war and the follies of the aristocracy. In places like the Thems, I used humor to show the ridiculousness of certain societal beliefs, often blending fantasy with reality. Comedy for me was a way to question authority and expose the hypocrisy of the powerful. Though my career was cut short, I always aimed to keep my audience laughing while making them think. Your work certainly challenged the status quo. And now, Menander, you represent the new comedy tradition, which differed significantly from the old comedy of Aristophanes, Cratinus, and Eupolis. So, how did you bring about this shift? New comedy shifted the focus from the political and societal critique to the everyday lives of people. My plays like the Dice The Crouch, centered around domestic situations, romantic entanglements, and the intricacies of human relationships. I believed that comedy should reflect the universal experiences of ordinary people, love, misunderstandings, and human folly, rather than the grandiose affairs of state. So, this more personal approach resonated with audience and has influenced comedy for centuries.
That evolution from political satire to domestic comedy is quite remarkable. Before we wrap up, can each of you share a final thought on what you hope modern audiences can learn from your works? Aristophanes? I hope that they learn humor can be a tool for truth. It can talent, power, and encourage a self reflection, all while keeping people entertained. Cratinus, for me, it's that comedy should never be afraid to push boundaries, laugh loud, speak up boldly, and never shy away from the difficult topics. Eupolis,
I would like audiences to remember that behind every joke there is a deeper meaning. Laughter can unite us, but it can also make us see the world in a new light.
Menander, I hope my work reminds people of the value of human connection and the shared experiences that bind us together. Comedy is, after all, a mirror to our lives. Thank you, Aristophanes, Cratinus, Eupolis, and Menander, for sharing your insights. It's been a pleasure. Before we close, I would like to welcome two more distinguished comedians, Pherecrates and Plato Comicus. Thank you for joining us. Pherecrates, you were known for your innovations in comedy, particularly in use of language and structure. Could you share a bit about your contribution to the art of comedy? Thank you for having me. Indeed, I enjoyed experimenting with form and language. I focused on refining the structure of a comedy, making it more elegant and accessible to audience. Plays like the Tyrants allowed me to play with language, mixing poetic elements with humor. I believe that comedy should not only entertain but also delight the ear with its rhythm and wit. Your contributions certainly elevated the artistic quality of comedy, and Plato Comicus, you often blended political satire with mythological parody. How did you balance these elements in your works? It was all about finding the right mix. In plays like The Poet, I enjoyed poking fun at both contemporary politics and the myths that everyone knew so well. By blending the two, I could offer commentary on both the current state of Athens and the timeless tales that shaped our culture. Comedy is about finding humor in both the ordinary and the extraordinary. Thank you, Pherecrates and Plato Comicus, for your insights. Your contributions alongside Aristophanes, Cratinus, Eupolis, and Menander have truly shaped the legacy of Greek comedy. To our audience, I hope this session was enriched your understanding of these legendary comedians and their timeless works. Until next time, keep laughing and keep learning. Bye.